Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your new moon lunar cycle insight video for the cycle beginning with the new moon in Libra on the 8th or 9th of October, depending on where you are in the world, and culminating with the Scorpio new moon on the 7th of November. So we know that this is a traditionally very intense time as we move in towards Scorpio season, and we've got Venus going retrograde, reaching the heart of her phase during this lunar cycle. We've also got Mercury moving into Scorpio, and we've got Jupiter finishing up his 12-month stay in Scorpio too. So there's a huge emphasis on the scorpionic vibrations and on the vibrations of Venus, those things which we love, which we find beautiful, our personal connections, our resources, our self-worth. All of these things can be coming up for review during this period. And I am calling this lunar cycle the cycle of evolution through relationship, because this is a time when we can really work with our relationships as a catalyst for growth, as a catalyst for change, really understanding that our relationships aren't necessarily there to keep us happy or to be, positive and light all of the time, but that they are catalysts for growth and change in our lives. Without relationship, there wouldn't be very much learning that we could do as souls here embodied on the earth at this time. So this new moon opens the gateway for that, because we can see that it's in the sign of Libra, which is of course Venus ruled, and it is in square to Pluto, who is the modern ruler of Scorpio. So it really reflects the energies in the collective that we will be working with the Venus cycle as she moves between Scorpio and Libra. And it's a very, very interesting time for all of us. And for you, Aquarius, this moon will fall in your 9th house. So this is the area of the birth chart where we find our authentic truth. It's the space of Sagittarius in the birth chart. So it's about that eternal quest for what is true for us. What do we believe? And Sagittarius is very much concerned with higher truth. So this can be a house that is very much to do with our spiritual beliefs and our spiritual learning and teaching. So with the moon here, we are being asked to balance our beliefs and attitudes, to look at all sides of an issue, because it's important for us to realize with Libra in this house that our truth isn't necessarily what is true for other people. So there may need to be some harmonization, some compassion, some understanding for people who perhaps don't believe the same things that we do. And how can we, find balance within ourselves when we are tested and challenged in these ways? Because Sagittarius, the 9th house, can be very much to do with our fixed ideas, fixed belief patterns. And you, Aquarius, as a fixed air sign, can be a sign that can be quite entrenched in what you believe to be true. This moon will be square to Pluto, who is currently in your 12th house, the house of subconscious release. So this can be a time when we are, looking at the subconscious beliefs and patternings that are holding us back from creating fulfilling, equal, harmonious, balanced relationships as well. This can be a time when things that we have repressed or have forgotten about can come to the surface, and perhaps, even working through lifetimes, because the 12th house is a very multi-dimensional space of the birth chart. So the issues that are arising could be connected and rooted in experiences deep in our karmic or our ancestral past as well. And we may find that things are revealed to us through dreams, through visions, through intuitions, as the 12th house is activated as well. And we are asked to, really release those old programs, those old beliefs that keep us out of alignment with our truth. So if we've been looking outside of ourselves for truth, for teachings, for higher wisdom, then this can be the time when we come back in to the truth of our own being and be our own guru and our own teacher. So we open the month on this note, and after the new moon, Mercury is going to glide from Libra into Scorpio, and he's going to join Venus and Jupiter in this house of your birth chart. And on the 23rd of October, the Sun is going to enter this space too. So all of these Scorpio planets are coming together in your 10th house, Aquarius. And the 10th house is the space of the birth chart which deals with career, purpose and reputation. And Jupiter's been moving through this space of your birth chart for the past 12 months, since last October, perhaps revealing to you what your true desires are with your work, with your career, and maybe also bringing you some promotions and blessings and opportunities as well, because it's a very fortuitous transit when Jupiter moves through the 12th house. But with him being in Scorpio, we can see that there would have also been some deep reflection and maybe some fear around stepping up and being seen as well, which can be amplified by Venus and Mercury and the Sun this month. So with Venus retrograding here, we're really looking at how we are feeling valued in our career, how we are dealing with our relationships with our co-workers in particular, because this can be the space where we're looking at the relationships that we have within our work and purpose as well. So as well as all of the usual things around romance and intimacy, Venus retrograde will ask us to look at our relationships in every area of our life. So you, Aquarius, could find this playing out in the workspace. But it's also a time of recognizing your core values in relation to work as well. So what are you bringing into the world that has value? What is your career offering you? Do you feel appreciated? Do you feel supported in your work? Or do you feel like you're not good enough somehow to be putting your offerings out into the world, or to be getting that promotion, or whatever else is going on in your work life? We're looking at issues of, feeling good enough to receive as well with the Venus retrograde. So this energy is going to be extra amplified and extra highlighted by the Taurus full moon on the 24th of October. This moon is going to sit in conjunction with Uranus, who has been in the 4th space of your birth chart, the 4th house, since May this year. And it's going to be in opposition to the Sun and to Venus in your 10th house. So this immediately highlights the core areas of our birth chart, Aquarius. It amplifies the areas of home, of rootedness, family, security, and the area of work, of being seen, of being out in the world. So we're being invited to look at these two areas and how in balance they are at this time, and perhaps there's some changes that need to be made. Perhaps you're spending too much time at work and neglecting your relationships and families. Perhaps you're kind of hiding away in the deep space of your birth chart and not wanting to be seen and not wanting to connect with people. So whichever way that is swinging, we need to try and harmonize it. And this is a powerful moon for you, because not only does it oppose the moon in Uranus, it also squares the north and south node. And we know that you have been going through massive change and transition, Aquarius, as we've had these, particularly over the summer, we've had Mars retrograding in your sign. We've had the eclipse on the South Node in your sign, and we've got the North Node in your space of relationship. So this moon can bring deep catharsis around the issues that you've been working with throughout the summer, as well as all the usual Venus retrograde feelings, which of course are extra intense in Scorpio. So all of these emotions that have been hiding under the surface can now kind of come up for release, come up for catharsis. This moon really offers us a crossroads. It really offers us a checkpoint to see what we are moving away from and what we are moving towards. And this is playing out in the key parts of your life, the key spaces of your chart, Aquarius. Like I said, the house, the 4th house of home and family, the 10th house of career, the 1st house of self, and the 7th house of relationship. So we can look at changes in all of these areas. And it's a process, you know, where external influences will trigger us into deeper learning, deeper healing about ourselves. The 4th house, where the moon will be in particular, is connected with childhood, with the inner child, with the womb space, the ancestral lineage. So it's really important that we look at the patterns that are playing out and think, okay, where did I first start to feel this sense of not being enough? Where did I first start to feel this sense of being unvalued? Where did I shut my heart down? Why did I shut my heart down? Because these can be intense energies for you, Aquarius, because you are one of the signs that naturally squares Scorpio, and you two couldn't really be more different. Of course, we have Aquarius with this beautifully elevated, detached, airy, higher perspective on everything, the humanitarian. And we have Scorpio, who is the deep, dark, emotional underworld, the things that are unhidden, the things that are unseen. And it's very much a sign that is connected with intimacy, with deep, deep soul connection with people, which is something that you, Aquarius, are not so adept at and not so familiar with, unless there are mitigating factors in the birth chart. But in general, if we look at the archetypes, we can see that you two are perhaps the most different pairing of signs in the whole wheel of the zodiac. So this is a really interesting time for you to be looking at any fears around intimacy, around commitment, around settling down, around really becoming close and emotionally involved and attached to other people. So this is another humongous learning curve for you, and it's been a big, big year for you, Aquarius. So do bear in mind that all of these changes that you're going through, eventually the rebirth will come. You know, eventually you will find yourself in a much different position to the one that you are in now. And Venus reaches the heart of her retrograde phase on the 26th of October, where she really, you know, is disappeared from our view. We can't see her in the sky. She is in the vault of light. She is conjunct the sun, and she is facing all of those fears, all of those shadows that she has suppressed and buried and denied, that she's been fearful, you know, if I show these, I'm going to be shamed, I'm going to be judged, or, you know, I'm going to be rejected. So this is a deep opportunity for us to look at where we are rejecting ourselves, where we're not owning our own worth, and where we are looking to the judgments and opinions of others to feel okay about ourselves. And this for you is happening in the 10th house. So you could find something in your career or work life triggers this, or conversely in the 4th house as well. So it could be connected with family, or it could be connected with work, but there is definite potential here for you, like all of us, to do this deep soul diving into the root causes of our pain, to really integrate all aspects of ourselves and come back into wholeness. So On the 31st of October, we reach Samhain, the Celtic New Year, here in the Northern Hemisphere. In the Southern Hemisphere, you are heading towards where you are at Beltane, the festival of the blossoming, the festival of fertility, of love, of sacred sexuality. We can see, you know, at this time of year, everything's blossoming, everything's beautiful around us, very connected with Venus. And both of these festivals being connected with death and sex are very, very scorpionic in nature anyway. So it's very significant that Venus changes signs on this day. And she's going to head back into Libra on the 31st of October. And not only will she change signs, but she will also make what is known as her helical rise, which means she becomes visible in the heavens to us once more. She's been in darkness, she's been in the shadow of the sun, and now we can see her again. She's visible on the horizon as the morning star at the time of dawn if we get up early enough. So this is a time where Venus begins her new cycle. It was highly significant to ancient astrologers and astronomers because this was the time that indicated the archetype that Venus would be working with, the divine feminine would be working with for the next 18 months until she begins the cycle again. So for this to happen in Libra is really beautiful because it indicates a cycle of, you know, people coming together in union, cooperation, harmony, conscious community, balance, equality between the masculine and feminine. Very different to the cycle that we are currently closing up with Venus in Aries. You know, the last time she rebirthed herself, it was in the sign of Aries. So very, very different energy. You know, Aries, the warrioress. We've had Jupiter in Scorpio, really uncovering all of the depths of the sexual trauma and violation that has been going on for centuries. So this indicates the beginning of change, the beginning of a more balanced collective way forward. And for you, Aquarius, this will take place in your 9th house. So this can be beautiful. This can be, you know, you really coming into your authentic truth around what relationship means to you. And of course, it's also the house of spiritual connection, spiritual teaching and learning. So you may find that you meet people that elevate you forward on your spiritual pathway as well, at workshops, at, you know, groups that are connected with your spiritual passions. You might find that somebody comes into your life that helps you to change and move forward in positive ways. So also on the 31st of October, Mercury is going to head into Sagittarius, your 11th house. And this is very significant because Mercury is going to go retrograde here next month in the next lunar cycle, and Jupiter is going to enter this space of the birth chart too. So just be aware of what is rising up at this time around 11th house issues, such as groups, the collective, individual purpose, the web, higher dreams and visions, because they're all going to be connected with the lessons that are going to be incoming for you over the coming weeks and months, Aquarius. But we'll talk about that more next time. And then we find ourselves coming to the Scorpio New Moon on the 7th of November. And this is the time where you get to rebirth yourself in all of the areas that Venus has been challenging you, that has been calling you to change. So this can indicate a new beginning for you in the areas of career, of home, of work, like of purpose. You know, all of those areas will once again be reignited for you. So I'm going to pull you a card to close this cycle, Aquarius. And these are from the Wisdom of Avalon deck by Colette Baron Reed. And this is really interesting. This is partnership. So how appropriate for Venus retrograde. So for me, Aquarius, this is immediately making me think that this period will be an amazing time for you to open your heart, to clear away those fears of intimacy and true soul connection with other people. This can be a time when, if you can move through your fears, that your relationships can move to a deeper level as you allow yourself to be more vulnerable, to be more open. So just be aware that this is a deep time of learning for you through the mirror of the other. And it can also be a time when, after Venus has moved through the heart of her cycle on the 26th, that you are drawing towards you new love, new partnership, new collaborative, cooperative ventures. And I'm also thinking here about the work you've been doing with the North Node in Leo in your sign, in your house of partnership, and how you have been learning about, you know, the joy that comes from opening your heart and connecting with other people. So this feels like this cycle is really giving you this final opportunity for clearing, and afterwards your relationships will become much more balanced and much more intimate. So I hope that you found this reading insightful, Aquarius. Thank you so much for listening to me. If you wish to connect with me further, you can look for the links to my Facebook page and group beneath this video, and you can also reach out to me for readings if you choose to. I'm sending you so much love for a really potent lunar cycle.